Views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
The rug was pulled out from underneath her. She didn't feel confident. She didn't know if she could make it. Yet she rose like the phoenix, leading herself and her family into a new beginning. And you can too. Are you ready? The Cornelia Stephanie Show Lady Boss knows what women want: to be free to speak their voice, live in financial freedom, and build businesses that radiate wealth, leaving legacies we can be proud of. Join Cornelia, Dana, Chris, and Diane the first and fourth Friday every month as they raise the roof to inspire confidence in all women. Welcome, everyone, to the Cornelia Stephanie Show. We have a great show for you today. I'm with my beautiful co-host, Diane Solano. Hi, Diane.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, Cornelia. As you know, my time zones are a little off, but today's a fabulous Friday and I'm excited to be here again.
Yes, and I love this topic that you created for us and the special guest that we have. We're going to tell you all about it here in just a second, but I want to talk about this subject line and what we're going to be talking about today. And that is health made easy and delicious. And who doesn't need that? We definitely need that and we want that. Why are we so unhealthy? When people make a food choice, the top two factors are nearly universal. They want flavor and they want convenience. Most of these fasts and yummy choices lead to poor health. Today, we will introduce choices that are delicious for your body, for your mind, and for your spirit, and as easy just as adding water. And I am definitely a result of that experience. I definitely am experiencing this, and I'm looking forward to sharing my little piece of that here in a little while. But first, Diane, you have an amazing guest that you brought on to the show today, someone that has deeply influenced your life and changed your life in so many ways. And I want you to introduce our audience to this amazing person.
With absolute joy and pleasure. It's a real honor, honestly, and a real, I would say, real gift to have him on the show today. Because my mentor, and this is actually who we have on our show, is our fabulous international, world-renowned natural medicine doctor, Dr. Bob, known as Dr. Bob, the Dr. Bob Rakowski. And the reason why I'm so excited to have him on the show is because he's impacted my career. I knew that I wanted to help people. I knew health was one of the fundamental ways that people can actually become an amazing version of themselves. If they felt good in their bodies, they would perform extremely well. And I was always looking for true mentorship in every direction of my life. And when it came to my career, Dr. Rakowski was hands down number one for me. When I finally had a chance to shadow him in clinic, I saw he was the real deal. Not only was he knowledgeable with his protocols, but he was also excellent at applying them himself, and he had a worldwide following. And that's exactly it. So we have Dr. Bob on our show today, and I'm really excited to bring him on. He's a world-renowned chiropractor. He's a clinical nutritionist. He's the director of the Natural Medicine Center in Houston, Texas, has lectured internationally around the world, TVs, podcasts, radio shows. I love his humble heart because truly everyone in the world follows him. He is the doctor to the doctor, especially in the elites, Olympians, elite athletes, people like, Evander Holyfield, Yao Ming, Michael Bennett, all those big names in sports fly in around the world to get treated by him. And not only does he treat the famous and the very well off, but also the critically ill, has a massive heart, and is actually one of the experts leading the project of Organo, which has expanded to impacting millions of lives, women around the world, men around the world, children around the world. And again, I'm just so grateful to have connected and crossed paths with Dr. Bob Rakowski. I'm going to welcome him to today's show. Dr. Rakowski, welcome to today's call. This segment is about sharing the treasures of the world, which is our health, and how we can make it in a way that's powerful and impactful. And that's what you do. And that's what you've taught me and thousands of other doctors around the world how to do that. So I'd like to bring you on this platform and share your powerfulness with the rest of the world and whoever's ready to receive it.
One, thank you for the beautiful introduction, and two, for your passion. It's very, very clear that the two of you preach health. Every fiber of your being says, I'm vital, I'm vibrant, I'm giving to the world. So you're contributing in so many beautiful ways. I loved your introduction, Cornelia. So, when people do make a food choice, it's got to taste good. And even though I've been teaching nutrition around the globe for 30 years, it really took my own children to teach me the importance of that. I can remember when they were small, trying to mix up a healthy shake for them, and them just more or less shaking their head. And at the first taste going, are you kidding? I'm not going to drink that. So we had to find ways to make it really, really delicious and even pretty and colorful. And, we found that if we could mix in organic honey and certain types of nut butters to smooth out the flavor, and maybe something pretty like blueberries, well, then they really enjoyed it. So that is something that I learned faster with my family than I learned with my patient base. People came in very, very sick, and you could give them something that didn't taste very good and didn't have good texture and certainly wasn't convenient, but because they had a very big reason, they do it. But guess what? As soon as the problem went away, so did the compliance with the program. So now I'm happy to share ways that people can nourish their body, mind, and spirit in ways that they literally look forward to every single day.
This is so great. This is so great. I'm so glad that you're talking about this, because there's so many people out there. Everything that you said about, the convenience, people are looking for convenience, and that they're most likely always going to fall back to a pattern, what a bad pattern, right? A habit of something that they've done before, because they're not aware of the health and nutrition, the choice that they can actually make something that's healthy for them, that's easier, and that pattern can be switched to a healthier lifestyle. And being healthy is really something that we all want, because we have this one life that we're living here, and it's our responsibility to make sure that we put our environment, which is our body, into the highest vibration that we can be, so that we can manifest a beautiful life.
When you start talking about vibration, so we're going to talk about healthy coffee and tea, which literally has an herb in it called Ganoderma lucidum, which is also known as the herb of spiritual potency. So you look at it, it calms the body, mind, and spirit. Over 3,000 peer-reviewed medical studies. When people wake up in the morning, they never, ever need to be reminded to drink their cup of coffee or tea. They won't leave home without it. You look at all the buildings in any city, and every floor has coffee makers. And you wonder what people are putting in their body. Well, now they can put in a choice that, as you so eloquently stated, raises every vibration to a beautiful level.
Yeah. And this has been my experience too with Organo and the coffee, is that when Diane first introduced me to it, I'm a coffee snob. So when she said, I want you to try this coffee, I'm like, I don't know, I don't know. So I went into it with an open mind, and I really, really, really noticed the difference within pretty much the first 5 days. Where before, when I would drink my coffee, which was Starbucks, I would buy the Starbucks brand and make it here at home. And I would drink the coffee, and then shortly thereafter, like a couple of hours after, I would feel the acidity in my stomach, and it would just rumble like that, right? And with the Organo brand, I find that I don't have that anymore, which what happens now is my stomach is calm. It's calm, and that makes my whole nervous system in my body feel calm. And so, yeah, I now have an entirely new program, an entirely new system, and I am in love with this choice.
You touched on the calming effect, and certainly having an alkaline effect is very, very calm to your stomach. Alkalinity is also calming to your entire being. But keep in mind that this is also very powerful anti-inflammatory, proven to modulate the inflammatory process by at least 12 different ways. So it puts out that fire that's burning in so many people unnecessarily, but it also produces calming brain chemistry. So there are literally studies that show that people that consume Ganoderma fall asleep faster, sleep deeper longer, and wake up more refreshed. And that's all through a very calming chemical in the brain called GABA. And there are even studies that show with a high enough dose that Ganoderma can be effective as an anti-seizure agent. And the beautiful thing about this is it's all verifiable through medical studies, but most people just want to know, how does it feel in my body? So as you said, it's very, very calming to the gut, very, very calming to the nervous system. People also don't have the rapid caffeine rise and then crash, which creates multiple challenges throughout the day. So smooth, steady energy, smooth on the digestive tract, and keeping the nervous system at peace. And again, that might be why they call it the herb of spiritual potency.
Yeah, and then what about all of the health stories that are, is spreading like wildfire all over the world about the people that are, healing from cancer and all I mean, just there's countless and different. What about that?
Well, one of the things that I'm always cautious about, because we live in a country where we'd like to say everything is free, but you can't make a health claim on anything other than a pharmaceutical. So we can certainly claim that we have a healthier coffee. We can also mention that, as far as I know, at least 12 different cancers it's been studied to have direct effect against, including the most common and some of the most aggressive, including a brain cancer called glioblastoma. But if we were to talk on a non-health claim level, I was at a cancer lecture about 30 years ago, and a PhD researcher asked a powerful question. And his question was, how does a hurricane start? And the short answer was he wanted to let people know that a hurricane started when conditions are just right. He then asked, how does a tornado start? When conditions are just right. How does cancer start? When the conditions are right for cancer, which includes low oxygen, low nutrients, high acid, chronic inflammation, and immune suppression. And magically, this herb Ganoderma is powerful to positively influence every one of those factors. So not only does it have direct action against cancers, proven, but it creates the circumstances in the body where cancer just is not going to grow.
Wow, that's phenomenal. What about you, Diane? What do you have to say about all that?
I'm really excited about it because I knew, being in practice for 20 years, that if it didn't taste good, people were not going to do it. And when I found out about this company that was producing a better coffee that was tasting amazing, that was easy to make, that was more cost effective than your average run of the mill coffee there in the market, whether it's Timmy's, Starbucks, McDonald's, whatever, for a third or fraction of the cost, people were having a better choice with something that was really impacting their body physiology. I used to teach for years that the body doesn't lie. It's extremely honest. And if something's not working for you, you'll feel it, whether your hair's falling out, you can't sleep, you can't move your bowels, you're gaining weight, you're losing weight, your body's always speaking a message. And what I found, that the inverse happens as well. When something is working, people will feel it right away, whether it's a change in diet or a new supplement program. What I noticed was that about 80% of my network, my patient base, my client base, my friendships, my family, were having profound changes and shifts in their body physiology, be it the lightest thing like energy and mental focus, or something as critical as better sleep. They were feeling it by just doing a switchover. And that's what I got super excited about, because I knew that if people were not compliant, nothing works. We're in a world of so much information, but it's applied information. It's applied, commitment to yourself. And a cup of coffee every day is what people already do. It's a habit that's already infused. It's, a budget that people already budget for. Now they were doing something with, product that was actually changing body chemistry around. And that's what made me super excited. We're the real testimonials coming back in my personal world saying, wow, Diane, I noticed A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And that's when I turned around and I, turned to my mentor and I said, this is incredible. And I'm seeing how it's so easily shared. And not only that, it's a product that's available in 35 countries around the world. So now we have better health access in a way that's done so beautifully and organically to many individuals around the world. They don't have to come into our offices anymore to have a profound impact. They can simply make a better choice and have a beautiful shift. And so that's what I really, 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 really got excited about. But people don't know it until they try it. So I always tell everyone, listen, just switch it out. 7-day coffee trial, 30-day coffee trial, just get a box, just like I did with you, Cornelia. You know, I said, listen, try it. Worst case scenario, if you don't like the taste and how it makes it feel, you by default got a little healthier. If you can live with that and save some money, that's your version of Skid Row. Knock yourself out. It wasn't for you. 80%, 60%, 70% of my network always turn around and say, wow, where can I get more? And that's where it got really exciting.
You know what else this experience helped me realize? That whatever you are looking for to improve your life is coming to you. And it was interesting because I knew this whole thing about the coffee, about what was going on in my stomach. I knew that was happening. And then all of a sudden you show up on the scene. So like an angel shows up with a product that's going to support me and help me change what it is that I already knew intuitively I wanted to change. But then I discovered my resistance. I don't want to, which is what most people don't want to do. They don't want to change their patterns. They don't want to change their habits. So I was also looking at that and going, okay, but I know, as a coach myself, I know that, we're rolling with changing times, and everything has to be front and center that speaks about health, vitality, living longer, anything that supports the physical body, our health, our well-being. That's what's a core value of mine, right? And so I feel like, Organo coming into my life and using this product now, and I am just so grateful that I made that choice, is it's supporting my lifestyle, supporting my body into a better healing and vibration. And so I'm grateful to both of you for showing up. And I just want to tell you all that are listening to this and that are going to watch this video later, please, if you're listening to this, Spirit sent this to you to take action and make a change, because whatever is coming into your life is coming there for a reason, whatever is there for you. So yeah.
So powerful, Cornelia. So powerful. And that's exactly it. It's like whatever you want in the universe, according to quantum law, and it's real, the science is there, is looking for you. We have something in our system, in our brain, called the reticular activating system that, when we're focused on something, we start to create the right circumstances, things, situations, scenarios, coincidences to cross our paths so that we can be open to, entering and crossing the doorway of whatever it is we're seeking. So again, no coincidence that you and I connected, and the fact that you have such a beautiful platform to help so many lives around the world in a way that's organic and that's heart-centered. All your speakers that come on this show, everyone has something so incredible to offer. And it's just about the exchange. We are in a world where there is an exchange of information, exchange of energy, and exchange of flow. And people that are joining your community are getting so much value. And that was exactly it. I saw this as a beautiful fit. I saw this as an opportunity to just share health, wellness, abundance, all the things we need to thrive on this plane of life, of this world. Because without having those choices, we live in survival. And what good are we when we're in survival? We're not effective. We're not being and playing at our best selves. But when we can get people out of survival, whether your challenge is health, whether your challenge is money, whether your challenge is relationship, self-worth, there's so much value coming out of this platform. So thank you for having us. And thank you, Dr. Rakowski, for being the mentor that you've been. Because, I know that not only have you been able to help so many people around the world with their health, but you've lectured for professionals like us to be able to now implement that and teach that as well. Organo was an incredible vehicle because now you helped us practitioners who are in survival with brick and mortar practices being able to also leverage our practices as well by still having an impact. And that's exactly it. I think that's the beautiful combination in this life is, how do you be on purpose and live on purpose? How do you have emotional freedom, time freedom, health freedom, and financial freedom to put it all together? And thank you for leading the way in the company. Cornelia, you may or may not know, but Dr. Rakowski is leading the health team, the health segment within the company, making sure that they're crossing their I's, dotting their T's, or vice versa, crossing their T's, dotting their I's in the quality of the products coming out, in his vision, and being able to also relay the information to not only practitioners, but to everyday people. And he's doing this on a global aspect. And Dr. Rakowski, you were just in Africa not too long ago, helping the African community and the growth of Organo within Africa. Maybe you can share a little bit about, how that's impacting people in other countries where they don't have as much access and support like a lot of us in North America do.
I think it's magic really for any of us to travel around the world and one, get an appreciation for what we have, and then two, see how impactful these products can actually be. I met with a man from Kenya, and he happened to mention that Africa has a lot of challenges. They actually have poverty of income, poverty of information, and poverty of health. And this literally fixes all three. So here was a man that had 12 people living under his roof. And once he started sharing coffee and even selling it as a single serving at a time, got to the point where he had over 600 customers and was able to upgrade his entire lifestyle and everybody in his family. The way he was able to do that is people there noticed a difference literally within a dose or two. So Cornelia, you mentioned, maybe about 5 days it took for you. And when we have beautiful health and really good habits, sometimes, taking ourselves up a notch isn't too perceivable. But when these people are literally starving in every way for good nutrition, they can realize that a single cup of coffee can be a game changer.
Yeah.
So, there were people that had illnesses. We don't want to make health claims or disease claims, but they had struggled with serious health challenges. And just by shifting their coffee, it changed their life in a beautiful way. And the illnesses that they were dealing with, they have the strength now to beat it and move on to a better life.
Yeah, so it's not only the health benefits. I mean, there's that. We are going to talk a little bit about the company itself and network marketing and what that whole thing is about. But right now, this team, because I'm part of your team, I became a distributor for Organo, and I'm so pleased I made that choice. And right now, we are currently the three of us, and then there's Benita too. We're working with a gentleman out of Liberia. No, is it Liberia? No.
It is Liberia.
Yeah, it is
Yes.
Liberia.
Yes.
Yeah, because I've got somebody in Nigeria and Liberia. Okay, yeah, Liberia. We're working with someone from Liberia, and that's Emmanuel. And actually, he was texting today, what time is the show? So we're working with them, and Organo is presently not in. It's not taking right now in Liberia, but we are working with the regional manager there to get product and get Organo out there so that Emmanuel can build a business for himself and really, be a leader out there in helping others become financially independent and also healthy in many ways, right? So we're working with Emmanuel right now to be able to do that, and it takes a lot of work behind the scenes to make all the different connections, time zones, different things, but resources, money. But we're doing this because we believe in this business. We believe in sharing the wealth, sharing the health, and I'm just so grateful that I joined this team. And also when Diane first came on and she introduced me to Organo, I'm so glad that she said yes to being the co-host here on the Cornelia Stephanie Show. And for those of you that are listening, you can see what an amazing influencer she is. She's qualified in so many things, and you can always catch her show on the first Friday of every month. So put that on your calendar. And for those of you that want to join us live in the studio audience here online, I'm just now beginning to roll this out, that you can go to CorneliaStephanieVIP.com and get your studio access pass. And the benefits for you being part of our live studio audience here is you'll be able to interact with the hosts, you'll be able to ask questions, and you'll be able to feel and be in this energy that will really help you and uplift you in more ways than one. And this is a brand new, it's my brainchild that I'm just rolling out now. This is like hasn't even really been announced yet on publicly until now, and I'm really excited about sharing it. So if you want to get your studio access pass, live access pass, go to CorneliaStephanieVIP.com and get it there, and you'll see all the shows, and come and interact with us, because we have many free gifts. We have many free tools that we share, and we really value your time and your energy for spending an hour together with us, because we know how busy we all are. So with all of that, let's take a break, ladies and gentlemen, and let's take a quick break. And when we come back, let's find out why network marketing.
Hello, my name is Charlene Hess, and I want to share with you my wonderful experience of choosing to use Cornelia Stephanie as my life coach. My life is so different now from where it was when I began working with her in 2011. At that time, I was in a dysfunctional marriage. I had my own business, I was raising 2 children, and completely dead inside. After working with Cornelia, I began to gain confidence. I began to learn and understand how to use my emotions in my life. I learned how to process the emotions that were stored in my body, the ones that I thought that I had already worked through in my 12 years of counseling prior to working with her. The process that she had taken me through of using my emotions to heal my life, to use my anger to find peace, was absolutely incredible. I have been working with her one-on-one for many years now, and even though I am in a place now where I am thriving in my life, I still refer to Cornelia as my coach, and I still work with her on an ongoing basis where we're always checking in and keeping me accountable in my growth. After working with her for many years, I decided to go through her wholeness certification coaching program, and it has absolutely been an amazing process. I now am a certified empowerment coach, and I got certified through her program, and I am taking clients and helping them to find the empowerment in their lives. One of the things that I love about Cornelia is that she taught me that I am the authority in my own life. And that was a really difficult experience to go through, because it was really fighting against all of the dogma and programming that was so ingrained in my brain that all of the authority is outside of me. But as I began to understand and believe and adopt and know the truth that I am the authority in my life, is when everything in my life started to shift and change. I became responsible for my decisions. I became responsible for creating a life that I love. And now I'm here in this amazing, beautiful place, living a life of so much happiness and joy. And no matter what life throws at me, I have the tools to be able to approach everything from a place of empowerment. And now I have the ability to help other people do the same. So working with Cornelia has absolutely been the best decision that I've ever made in my life. It has taken me from a life of absolute misery and given me the tools to be able to have a life of absolute, complete joy. So I cannot recommend working with her enough. I hope that you decide to choose to have her as your coach. Go through her empowerment coaching program, go through her wholeness certification, and I guarantee you won't regret it.
Thing that we have to fix there. Welcome back to the Cornelia Stephanie Show. I'm with my co-host Diane Solano, and we have Bob Rukowski with us today, and we're talking about Organo, the beautiful product, the beautiful company. And also, before we went to break, we were talking about why network marketing. Dr.
You
Bob?
know, yes. Well, I got to tell you, network marketing is something that I really had to dig into in terms of looking at the research, looking at how it worked, why the model was so effective and so long lasting. And there was a video that really was a turning point for me. And the video is called Rise of the Entrepreneur. And there's a world-class trainer named Eric Worre that literally interviewed more than 25 world experts, opinion leaders in economics and business, you know, guys like Sir Richard Branson, Tony Robbins, and people that had made a very good life in network marketing. And what they simply said, from a business standpoint, it's really the best deal going in terms of lowest cost of entry, lowest risk, highest potential return on investment. So there are literally thousands of network marketing companies. And when you have thousands of anything, there are going to be some that are going to be excellent and some that aren't so good. And the bad news is that the companies that maybe aren't so good seem to carry the reputation, as happens in so many things. So you always want to connect with a really good company. So you look at a company like Organo that has more quality certifications than any professional nutrition company that I've lectured for, USDA certified, EcoCert, kosher, halal. And then you looked at their license currently in 59 different countries and operational in over 30. And ultimately, those 59 are going to grow beyond that. So you look at 59 different governments that looked at this product and said, wow, it's good. Our people will benefit. And here's another magic thing about it. We'll get to the business model as well, but not one of our boxes of coffee or tea, even with a therapeutic dose of a very powerful herb, has a warning label in any country. So it's proven safe, it's proven effective. But again, with this business model, people can partner with you, with myself, with Diane. And over time, as they begin to share the product and share the opportunity, it can grow magically. So, for years, I worked in clinical practice. I had a brick and mortar facility. I still do. You have employees, but you're so limited in how many people you can help. Now, with a team of over 14,000 people in over 20 countries, I literally know dose by dose, tens of thousands of people are getting healthier every single day. And because we did the work to build the team, people on the team are getting wealthier, myself included. So it is a magic model where your reach can be beyond anything you could certainly ever accomplish by yourself. I don't, the biggest companies in the world, I don't know how many of them have over 14,000 people in their sales force, but that's what we have. And it grows every single day from raving fans sharing a great product with a proven track record. And one of the factors that Diane said so beautifully is it's a fraction of the cost for what they're already paying if they're using Starbucks or McDonald's or Tim Hortons or even Dunkin' Donuts. So powerful.
Wonderful. Yeah. What about you, Diane?
I can attest to that. I'm a living proof of this model itself. I approached Dr. Bob just entering 5 years ago where I was in a state of panic. 20 years in practice, brick and mortar, if I wasn't seeing patients, if they were canceling, my economic stability was basically dependent on my patients, my clients that walk through the door. I found it was challenging to leverage that. And it really hit home for me when my relationship started falling apart. And I woke up one day realizing I was going to be a single mom. And I didn't know what the heck I was going to do. I had nothing to fall back on. I didn't have the capital to go out and, buy stocks, real estate, do any of the kind of traditional, venture one capitalist kind of idea to help leverage my financial lifestyle. I knew that I wanted something that wouldn't put me at risk of losing my home, risk of investing too much money, but I didn't want to waste my time. And I didn't know what that was or what it looked like. I just really got clear on what I wanted. And it wasn't until Dr. Rakowski came to lecture into Toronto, Canada, which is where I'm from, one day for a very powerful company that does nutritional protocols. I approached him and I pulled him off to the side on break. And I said, Dr. Rakowski, how am I going to make ends meet? Here is my life. And here's where it's going now. And I'm scared. 10 years from now, I don't know where I'm going to be if I continue down this path. And that's when he said to me, Diane, have you heard of Organo? Well, I didn't, and I didn't know anything. All I knew was that I was speaking to someone who knew wealth and who knew health and who knew the impact and knew my industry. And when I learned about the product, I knew about it in theory, how great it was, but it wasn't until my own friends and family started consuming the product and I really started getting those testimonials that we often hear about when my congruency and my real passion for the product grew. Then I needed to get clear on the business model. And that's when I just became a really good student saying, Dr. Rakowski, what do I got to do next? You're in business for yourself, but you're not alone in this business model. And that's what I was so grateful for, was that I was just a hungry, coachable student. Fast forward 5 years today, I now am in a very different space financially, probably one of the top earners and growers in Canada, just because of the timing of the market. The company's only 11 years old and it's still fairly new, but still very solid as a company. And I've just been able to live the life of what it really means to become a true professional in network marketing, where the effort comes in, but then over time, it really starts to have a life of its own. So residual income is my life now. I was just in Asia and I was freeze a bird because my flight got canceled and I didn't have to worry about being home in time at a specific time point because I had this business model from the comfort of my phone now, because that's where technology is taking us. I can drive this business as long as I have Wi-Fi. I can be practically any country and be able to wake up and realize the commitment I made 4.5, 5 years ago was one of the best decisions ever in business. And I still get to have impact, and I still get to go out in the world and share so many different areas of life, which is health and now, income potential and wealth for those that need it the most. And that's what I love now, Cornelia, is we're affecting women in third world countries. I have women in Latin America following me now saying, how do I do this? And I'll tell them, let me show you how, because now you can, pay off your mortgage, pay off the car loan, put food on the table, buy organic, send your kids to better schools, not have to send them to daycare, whatever. It's about having choices in life. That's what financial abundance does for us. It gives us choices. And when we have choices, now we can now start creating a powerful life. And that's what a better economy can do for anyone around the world. We're no longer captive and made, I guess, victim to a system that doesn't work. The old paradigm of corporate business, the old paradigm of making income has changed. Everyone has a high side hustle. That's why we're seeing Airbnb. That's why we're seeing Uber. But even those paradigms are still time dependent. Really, I love this because it was something that was being able to, again, just leverage. It's all about being able to leverage your time and leverage your reach and leverage your financial ability. And then what can you do in return is the question. So, first we get out of survival, and then we step into space saying, hey, how much impact do I want to have? And that's where I'm at today. And I'm grateful for you, Dr. Bob, for sharing this model.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know,
grateful to both of you. So I'm so grateful that, that I've become part of this. And again, we talked about it earlier, is that whatever you're seeking is seeking you. And it's health, it's wealth, it's seeking you. And all you really have to do is say yes. Somewhere I heard that Richard Branson said, say yes to everything that comes along, because there isn't anything that is stopping you from moving into your highest expression and say yes to things. And that really resonates with me, because it's taking risks and moving beyond the programs and moving beyond the limiting beliefs. And what I love about what you said, Diane, you've said this before, that you are already uh, drinking this product. You're already doing this every single day, no matter what. It's just that you're not drinking a product that's really, really healthy for you. So that's the other thing. And now with Organo, it's truly healing, and with all the amazing herbs that it has in it, it's a healing tool for many of us that is changing lives. And then on top of it, it's a business opportunity. And we're talking about why network marketing. And so Diane just got back from Bali, and she was just in Bali, and it was truly because she's a top earner now in Organo, and this is a reward, something that she won, a trip that she won. Her and Dr. Rukowski just came back. They were there for 10 days, right?
and we were there, and there was actually 100 different people there, and there's 5 different incentive trips, and that's one of the perks. But Diane said so many things that were really powerful teaching points, and one is that she was humble enough to be a great student. So she's an accomplished professional, very respected in her field, but she realized, okay, I don't know anything about building a network marketing business. So she buckled down and studied and learned, and then literally her passion speaks for itself. So you get face to face and you realize she's very sincere about what she's doing. She knows what she's talking about. She has a vision. She has a mission. And if you resonate with that, then let's go together and build something that literally can make every life better, a single sip at a time. And you have that same passion, that same commitment. If we start looking at women around the world, network marketing is built by women. 75% of everybody all over the world in network marketing is female. And some of the stories that I have heard are beyond breathtaking. I was at a major conference, and it happened to be a woman from Africa who was in a very abusive relationship, didn't have any education, didn't have any way to get herself out of it. Finally, the circumstances became so desperate that she, went out, someone borrowed her $100, which would be called a microloan. And now she's earned over $1 million in the industry, has written a book, and is teaching people how to become free. So, I love sharing this platform with the two of you because you stand for everything that's great, empowering everybody in a way that literally, if you're willing to be a good student, anybody can do it.
Oh, I love this so much. We do have a call to action for the audience. Do you want to give it to us and tell us what you want us to do?
That being me.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, you know what? You've got a wonderful website, and I wish I would have written it down. So can you tell me again for your Organo website?
It is New Body, New Life.
Perfect. newbodynewlife.myorganogold.com. You can log on to that website. You can purchase some product. If you already know that you want to be a business partner, you have two options. Once you log in, it'll say, do you want to be a customer or do you want to be a partner? And guess what? From that website, they're a partner with you. They're a partner with Diane Solano. They're a partner with myself. And the three of us are as dedicated as any trio that I've ever seen to making the world better. Not only are we dedicated to it, but we have the ability, the skill set, the leverage, the platform. And if you want to join our team, we welcome you with open arms, and let's make the world better together.
What I love is you're only as successful as the 5 people that you surround yourself with, right? And that's why it's so powerful to be part of a team, because you're not on your own. And there's many limiting beliefs, and there's many stories out there that, network marketing is, whatever the negativity is. I say just trash all that. And, if you resonate with this message of what it is that we're sharing here, then this is what was sent to you so that you can improve your life. The other thing I want to ask you, Dr. Bob, is would you come back? And I want to invite Emmanuel. So because right now in Liberia, we're getting him started with product. We're having product shipped to him. We're having him, set up in his region so that he can be the first one to bring Organo to the region. And I would love to share how we supported him on the back end without even Organo being there yet. And would you mind coming back when we bring Emmanuel on as well to share this story out loud?
I'd absolutely be honored, and big, kudos to you for making all of this happen. You reached out to him. Through our connections, we got him literally connected to the continent manager of Africa, to the president of Organo. And they said, if you're willing to step up and make the world better, then we're going to do whatever it takes to help you to be successful. But you certainly catalyzed all of that. And I'm looking forward to great growth and so many people being impacted in so many beautiful ways.
Yeah, I just, like the whole thing with Emmanuel, he is an influencer, a big influencer, and he's got a lot of people that he helps. And I just love the fact that now Organo is going to be an opportunity for these people to move out of poverty. And when we talk about these people, we're talking about oneness, because we're all one. Right, which is so important. What we do for one, we do for all. And like you said, we're all dedicated here to make the world a better place. And Organo is a beautiful company that is worldwide and has a worldwide reach that reeks of wealth and health. And we just want to show you how easy it is for you to get started. So go to my website at newbodynewlife.organo.com, right?
.myorgano.gold.com. Yes,
Yeah.
myorganogold.com.
Yeah.
We can possibly publish a link, right? That'll make it easier for everybody.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll publish the link. And when you see this video later on YouTube, we'd love for you to comment and share any questions that you may have, because you may have questions about this. You're listening to this and you have a question, you want to know something, put it in the YouTube video link. And if I don't know the answer to it, I'm going to get my team and we'll get it answered for you. So let's take our last break and then we'll be right back.
My name's Bob Skeel. I'm 91 years old, and I want to take a few minutes now to share with you the important role, actually the critical role, Cornelia has played in my life. I say critical because I'm not sure I'd be alive at all to the many possibilities that make up our human experience at my age, if not for her. I could have easily become another dead man walking, only half conscious, stumbling through my remaining years, if it hadn't been for Cornelia. 6 years ago, I lost my wife to Alzheimer's. We'd been married for 61 years. I never thought I'd be a widower, but there I was, suddenly lost and alone, but with the good sense to set a working goal for myself. I was going to spend the rest of my life committed to unconditional love, whatever that meant and wherever that took me. A year or so later, Cornelia came along, helping me over several years to focus that unconditional love where it had never been focused before, on me. My whole life, my entire being had been focused on love of neighbor, and I had derived great satisfaction from that. But in the process, I had ignored the second part. I love your neighbor as yourself. Now it was time to direct that love inward. I didn't see that right away, but Cornelia did, and she drew me there. She drew me actually to God. Through many conversations over coffee and after numerous, sometimes tearful, agonizing discussions, Cornelia was able to lead me, kicking and screaming, to within where I needed to be. It was there finally that I was able to re-identify myself. It was in bringing unconditional love to myself that I now saw myself in a new light, a fully conscious, worthy human being, capable of healing, loving, and creating in my own right all these gifts of the evolutionary process. I'm a new man now, younger as I get older. I don't move as fast as I once did, of course, but my smile is quicker and I engage the heart and mind of others more readily. I would likely not be at such a wonderful stage in my life if not for Cornelia. I owe my new life to her, a wonderful friend.
Welcome back. During the break, we were talking about Organo is so much more than just coffee. There's so much more to learn about it and know what other products there are. And Bob, why don't you tell us about it?
You know, what a wonderful conversation. So Organo started, 11 years ago, as Diane Solano said, and they had coffee and tea. And with coffee and tea, they crossed over $1 billion in sales in just 5 years with no storefront, no dollar spent on advertising because the product was that good. But the vision was much bigger than that. So they expanded into weight loss and healthy meal replacements. So they have shakes that literally taste like liquid birthday cake. And I personally know several people that have lost over 100 pounds by adding a delicious meal replacement. As it nourishes their body, mind, and spirit, they have less cravings, their metabolism is improved, their sleep is better, more energy to exercise. And so they've expanded their product line to include that. Later, they came out with a detox drink, with an energy drink that is so much better than what so many people are putting in their bodies. Then they invested in an all natural, all organic, no animal testing, no animal cruelty skincare line. We're talking about a product line that's been developed in New Zealand with Manuka honey and some of the phenomenal treasures of the earth. It goes on easy and effective, and people notice a difference there, often in a single application. Most recently, they bought a travel company. So they have a company now known as Travala, Leisure Life by Travala, which for over 7 years in the travel space has had the lowest price in the entire industry, with partnerships with over 2.2 million locations all over the planet. I've been working with a neuroscientist. Diane had mentioned that I'm now part of the formulation and health committee with the company, but a 62-year-old neuroscientist who's dedicated his life to brain chemistry And now they have a focus product and a brain chemistry meal replacement, and they have ways of assessing the cognitive performance. And the neuroscientist himself, in just 6 weeks, had 42% improvement. And that's a very high level individual. So Organo knows what they're going for. They want to make the world better for everybody on it, and they want to create a system where everybody wants to be a partner with it. So something that was never done before in the space of network marketing, they actually have a food trust partnership with IBM. So someone will be able to scan a barcode with their smartphone, and they'll be able to find out where every single raw material came from, what the certifications are. And here's one thing that I really enjoy. They'll even interview the suppliers. So as a student of the coffee industry, I can tell you that 1/4 of the world that works in coffee lives below the poverty level. Organo is going to change that. So they pay everybody a fair and living wage. But when this farmer tells the story of his coffee plantation, the person that's looking at it will have an option to tip the farmer. So imagine if 50,000 people every single month say, you know what, I want to tip the organic farmer $1 a month. Just imagine what that will do for the life of the farmer, the family, and the community, and it'll raise the bar for the entire industry. So the company is very innovative. They're reaching out to the market. They're making it easier than ever. In Toronto this week, they have what's called a beauty bar showcase. So the company pays for professional estheticians to give a mini facial with all of these natural products so people can experience it. And then when it's complete, they have an option to either buy, guess what, from the distribution partner, or even join the team. So they have so many different ways of adding value to the marketplace. They're bringing in more and more products in a way that's never been done before. And there's never been a more exciting time to be a part of this business, or really anything like it in the planet. It's never been done. So our CEO gave a talk at Stanford Business School 11 years ago when he laid out his plan for this project. And now it's all coming to fruition. And you can see the high quality people that we're attracting, like yourself and Diane Solano. And it's only getting better.
Yeah, there's just so much that I love about this company. And one of the things I know about me is that I usually start things out with brand new, with the amazing people, with amazing platforms, with companies and organizations that are for the new earth, for our expansion, for our evolvement. And so Organo is definitely one of those companies. And so here's the thing, for all of you entrepreneurs out there, or for people that are in a job and you hate going to work every day and you're looking for something new, and you're listening to this show today and you're listening to this video, this is your time. This is the time to be to change your life in more ways than one. Give us a call, contact me at radio@corneliastephanie.com, or Facebook, or any of us here, and we'll give you more information. And the other thing is that if you're an entrepreneur and if you are not podcasting, you need to be, because we are now at a time where podcasting truly is changing the world. 79 million people podcasting every month, and it's continuously growing. It is the way for us to get our communication out there, and for us to share our value, for us to share our products, for us to share our voice with everything that's making the world a better place. And like Dr. Bob said, he said that it's women that are, changing the world, in that 85% of women are making the household decisions. So ladies, get on board, empower yourselves, empower your families, and make Organo part of your growing family. So we have less than 2 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. What else would you like to say to the audience before we sign off today?
One, what an honor to be with you and seeing how you change the world with your beautiful message. And this is consistent with your value system, with my value system. I spent a lot of time looking at the product, looking at the certifications, looking at the research. But take it from there. We're partnered with JP Morgan Chase. We're partnered with Visa. We're partnered with Amazon. We're partnered with IBM. I had an attorney one time and I asked him, what does the due diligence of those companies look like? He said, singly, it's unbelievable, but together, it's probably never been seen before. So they've all, as Diane said, dotted the I's, crossed the T's, signed off on this company as the real deal with the real product, with the real delivery system in a way that's going to have a positive impact for the entire planet and every single person that decides to partner with us on any way. I'm a big fan of the compound effect. Every sip makes a difference.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, for listening. Thanks, Diane Solano. Thanks, Dr. Bob Rakowski. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi,
Bye-bye.
my name is Janet Hickox, and I want to tell you a little story about a story and how my friend Cornelia Stephanie helped me through to the other end of that story. I have gone from the dark of a story I was telling myself that wasn't true to the light of optimism to see my way out of where I was and to where I want to go. And it all started with her scheduling a session for me to help me reclaim my money or my financial empowerment. Up until that point, I had been telling the story that my business was dying, that my business was not successful anymore. And the more I tried to figure out what was going on, the worse I felt about it. And when I had to get ready to do the session with Cornelia, she asked me to go look at the numbers and where I was through the year to date, and then also to come prepared with a number that I wanted to raise my income to. Well, I was quite comfortable with that part, right? I knew where I wanted to be. What I wasn't comfortable with doing is going and looking up those numbers, but I made myself do it, even though I tried to backpedal my way out of the session. She didn't know that, but I was going to try to get myself out of the session. And I looked up those numbers, and it was incredible that I discovered through that process that my business wasn't dying. In fact, I was doing 12% better than I had the year before. So I was shocked. I was shocked literally at the power of the story that I had been telling for months. But more than that, I was shocked that I had allowed myself to get there. And later in that day when I had my session with Cornelia, she pointed out some very obvious things like, how are you going to get where you want to go if you don't know where you want to go? How are you going to get there if you don't have the goals written out, if you don't have it set up so that you know where you are and where you're going to go? Totally makes sense, right? I had been in business, somebody else's business, as a sales manager for years, and I was a national sales manager. I had awards for sales management. I had business awards because of numbers. And yet when it came to doing my own business, I totally forgot all that I'd ever learned. So by the time Cornelia, working with me in just one session, got me to look deeper at the numbers and where did I want to go, and actually, claiming where I wanted to go, I was filled with a sense of optimism and hope like you can't believe. It was like everything shifted for me. And I am so looking forward to our continued sessions to see how far I can really push myself to get where I've only dreamed of being, where I've never taken the dream and actually brought it into concrete existence. So thank you, Cornelia, for the work that you're doing out there. I appreciate it, and I can't wait to see where I go from here.